And the dogs are always, eating grass and just rolling in and all that stuff.
Touching it in their paws. Like, and your little kids, they run out barefoot, right?
Right, yeah.
Or we fall down. Sometimes, a little hippie out there laying in your grass, taking pictures. Like, look at me talking to that St. Augustine man. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's AJ with Hippie Fertilizing on the More Than Grass podcast. Here with Gardy from Clear Life Media.
What's up, AJ? How's it going?
It's going pretty good, dude. Feeling a little lit from some caffeine. I swear I drink too much of it, but that's okay.
What are you drinking?
This is a Vietnamese coffee from Rustic Cafe right down the street.
Yeah, there's a donut shop on 518 that I go to as well, and they have it, and it's delicious.
I already drank coffee before that. It's not good, especially in the summertime. It'll really feel great for about 30 minutes and then sweat you out. Mm-hmm. So we're getting into summer. We're full swing into the year, full swing into all sorts of things. Gardy, we've talked about things like this before. You're a father, a husband. Although I found out you don't have any dogs.
No dogs.
No dogs
at this time. I love dogs though. I'm a dog person. If I was to have a pet, it'd be a dog. Yeah,
I got one. I got a red husky with beautiful powder blue eyes, with the most calm demeanor ever. He is more of the hippie than me. Okay, people think, oh, you're so chill. I'm like, I'm actually a little high strung and too caffeinated. But he really is chill. So for the last 8 years, I've been fixing grass, right? I've been really trying to promote for people to support soil biology, for people to do things healthier, and just let's take a different approach versus this commercialized, conventional, overly marketed bullshit, right? I mean, when we talked about your lawn the beginning of this year, what was kind of the major part of the topic?
It was as far as the marketing and all that stuff, right?
No. And for those, most of the time, I just throw these questions on him. So,
yeah, I was gonna say I'm not even sure where this is going.
We didn't plan anything.
We've talked about a lot of stuff. We've talked about a lot of things.
We do. But one of the first topics at the beginning of the year was the weeds.
The weeds, yeah.
Right. And yes, how it's overly marketed, and we get kind of really consumed into how does my grass look and everything like that. So I go out to this lawn a couple days ago, and these days I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I charge people for lawn assessments. Okay. But I've been in the lawn care industry for 14 years, and not just doing the same job, right? Mm-hmm. I have dove into the deep water of studying about things like soil biology, fertilizer, nitrogen sources, how things interact with everything to some degree. And year after year, I see the same thing. I've been in lawn care for 14 years. Hippie Fertilizing is going on its 7th year. I've been fixing a lot of grass, dude. Mm-hmm. And I've screwed up some grass too, okay? How do you know? Well, I screwed that shit up. Learned how to fix it. The reason why I bring up you being a father, a husband, you have kids you think about, right? You think about what they put in their mouth.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You care about your wife's health, right? And I'm positive she cares about yours, right? So I was out doing this lawn assessment the other day. Quick walkthrough. I can point out most problems real fast. When the irrigation is not set right, or when there's no irrigation. But the biggest problem I see time again is how we approach restoring a lawn. And I bring this up because I have also had the fortunate experience of a lot of my customers showing me what it says that the last lawn care company did, right? And it is so freaking consistent across the board. If you have a jacked up lawn and it's patchy and it's not growing and it's turning yellow and all the things that make you, want to rip out all your grass and redo it. You know what the last freaking thing you should be putting down is?
What? I don't know.
A pre-emergent.
Okay.
Okay? And there's a huge disconnect in terminology and understanding of what a product is. So if I say a weed killer, you get an idea of what that is, right? Mm-hmm. Herbicide, usually a chemical product, unless it's Fiesta weed killer. Just gonna throw that out there. That's kind of very clearly understood, right? So do you know the difference between a pre-emergent and a post-emergent?
I'm going to say one you put on before it emerges and one you put on after.
Very true. Okay. Good guess.
Okay.
And I was not trying to be like a smart ass about it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is just honest.
I don't know the difference though. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So yes, one works a certain way to try and prevent weeds. And I say it like that because it's bullshit. Okay. Post-emergent, obviously, they done sprung up. You want to kill them afterwards so we can have, typically one kind of grass. I don't promote that either because St. Augustine and Bermuda, when they mix in well, you will have a more resilient lawn, okay? Unless you just have tons and tons of money to have a perfectly I only want Bermuda or only want St. Augustine. And hey, if you want it and you got it like that, dude, cool, go for it. I'm not hating. But for the average person, right, it is a silly notion to get in a fret over one or the other, okay? Now, I walk around this lawn. I see all these runners don't stick to the ground. Here's where I'm going with the pre and post emergent, and is that for some reason the common consensus is that a pre-emergent is not an herbicide. I don't know why people get this in their brains. I don't know where the disconnect is at, but it's like a common thing. For some reason, if it says weed killer, they know, oh, it's an herbicide, right? Yeah. But since pre-emergent doesn't say weed killer, they don't think it's an herbicide. And it's then
just different, better marketing, maybe a better name. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds better.
So I was looking up stuff on this earlier to get some information on it. Because again, if you're calling EU Green or these other guys, Brown Thumb, whatever. If your goal is to fix your lawn that is suffering and they're offering to put down a pre-emergent, tell them to leave. Okay? And you shouldn't be asking for it either. Because if you're trying to bring back your struggling lawn, all right, the last thing you need to do is use any form of herbicide. What does an herbicide do?
You kill stuff.
Correct. Yeah. So how the hell are you going to make something live when you putting a killer down? You're not. And I see this all the time. It is so prevalent. It is everywhere. And this big misconception of oh, I wanted to fix the grass and kill the weeds. Look, okay, you want a healthy marriage? Quit fighting your wife. Okay, you want a healthy lawn? Don't fight the lawn. Okay? Kind of goes with husbands too to your wives, right? Hey, work together. Don't fight each other. What does it need? And what it needs isn't something that's gonna kill it or poison it. I'm only trying to make you better by telling you you're fat. No, that's not logical. Right?
Yeah, it's not going to work. Yeah.
No. But I thought it would motivate her to work out. No. It's going to motivate a divorce or worse. So back to the lawn, right? We don't want to use any form of herbicide while the lawn is in serious need of repair. because I have fixed hundreds and hundreds of lawns without ever putting down a piece of sod. But the first thing I had to do was educate my customer on the importance of supporting soil biology, working with Mother Nature to feed the soil, to correct all the junk that we've been told to put on there, and then feed the turf. It's phenomenal how it works, how simple it is. And I get caught in the muck. You know, you work out, you do different things, right? Do you ever feel like you get kind of lost or sold on stuff that you know is bougie, right? But then you're like, oh, this sounded so good.
Yeah.
Right? Or so many people are like, try this. And then you did. And it didn't work. Or you got the results that you thought you were going to get, but you feel like duped. I've done it. I was almost convinced I wanted to use weed killers before. Because so many damn people ask. But anyway.
You would have been the liver king of like the lawn care industry, because you know how he preaches and stuff like that. But yes. It's the same thing. But yeah, you believe what you believe in and sticking to it. But yeah, I can see how that stuff comes through your head, but you just have to be like, hey, this is my mission.
And right? It is so hard. It really is, because I mean, you got 4 kids, right? So, you know, dad, sometimes it'll wear you down, right? Like, fine, dude, go have the cookies.
Right. Eat the cookies. Yeah.
Like, I'm done with you for today.
It's gummies for breakfast at my house. That's what my 4-year-old, he's like, Dad, can I have gummies? I'm like, you need to eat something else for anything else first. Just take a bite of anything, and then, yes, you can have all the gummies.
Right. So that's kind of how I feel in lawn care. Like, I got to kill the weeds. I'm like, what kind of herbicide can I put down that's going to have the least impact on the things that I want and the most impact on the things that you're complaining about? And I come to the same conclusion every time of like, no. This is not why I started my business. This isn't why I created this space in lawn care, all that, because we want to go against the grain. We want to teach people the right way to do things. There is not a mother freaking magic pill for this stuff, but there is some like magic fertilizer, okay?
Yeah.
And I got it.
All right.
So quit going with the pre-emergent. A pre-emergent is still an herbicide. It gets sprayed to be present in the soil. You know how long a pre-emergent lasts?
I don't know. I'm going to throw a guess. 2 weeks. 3 weeks. How long?
Minimum 3 months.
3 months. Okay.
3 months.
So it'll have effects for the next 3 months.
Correct.
Okay.
And how it works is it's basically like a low dose of herbicide. All right. So that when a weed seed germinates, it immediately kills the weed after the seed germinates from that root popping out, getting, touched by the herbicide, and it kills it. The thought is that, you have deeper root zone, you have an established grass, it's not supposed to hurt the grass. That's bullshit. Okay? If you have a ton of runners that aren't hitting the ground or sticking to the ground, you put down weed and feed or something, so you put down an herbicide. It's not a fertilizer, people. Get that out of your freaking brains. Sorry, I get a little mad about it. Or a pre-emergent. And again, you had a struggling lawn, what have you, and you get these runners. We have St. Augustine grass predominantly. It grows out in stolons. It drops roots to stick to the ground, and then boom, it grows another one, stick to the ground, right? You put down a weed and feed, a 3-in-1, a pre-emergent, any of these things, it has herbicide in the soil that is going to kill that root.
Okay. And I was going to ask you, because you talked about that, having runners that aren't sticking it out, and I'm glad that it came back up. So so it would have been in there, but something killed the root. So it's just a runner that's like on the top pretty much.
Right. And then people don't even know what the St. Augustine is sometimes. So they're like, this is a weed and I've been pulling it up. And I'm like, hey, you should have just mowed it and mowed that grass and let it decompose into the lawn. So this is such a prevalent problem. It's fixable, y'all. Seriously, something as simple as molasses help break down the chemical in the soil. humic acids, seaweeds, stuff that's an actual soil food and soil amendment, real ones that impact positively soil biology because bacteria is going to help break all this stuff down faster. Okay. And I just see it, you know, some of these companies, and they got their big fancy trucks and big old fancy spreader behind it. And you're, you know, average Mr. Johnson's like, "Ooh, man, they must be good. Look at that 2500 looking so fancy. Pull up to my truck." And he said he was going to kill my weeds. Yeah, well, did your grass grow back, sir? Well, no. How long have you been their customer? Oh, well, about a year now. They said it takes time. You know how long it takes me to fix the lawn?
How long?
Most time, from the day we put down our soil and do our lawn restoration service, 30 freaking days to see significant results. I'm talking, sometimes it looks like you resodded the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Okay? Clock it in, especially in growing season. Now, late fall, wintertime, expectations are different because it's not growing season. But in growing season, I can change your lawn in 30 days if you irrigate that sucker the way I tell you to. And I don't care what the hell you put on that lawn. I can help amend it. So I was looking this up. It's a very prevalent problem. Pre-Emergent is an herbicide. I'll just want to say that again so no one gets confused. If you thought otherwise, please share this video. Share this with everybody so we can get a bigger, better understanding out there that when you put down an herbicide, you are not supporting new turf to grow. The other things I looked up about prodiamine specifically because it's a very common one. There's another one called dimension. And this goes back to like having your family, your dog, like a dog if you did. I have a dog. Lots of people do. You know, it's one of the first organs that a pre-emergent targets and that can affect your dog.
What is it?
Your thyroid.
And the dogs are always, you know, eating grass and just rolling it and all that stuff.
Touching it in their paws. Like, you know, and your little kids, they run out barefoot, right?
Right, yeah.
You know, or we fall down. Sometimes, you know, a little hippie out there laying in your grass, taking pictures. Like, look at me talking to that St. Augustine man, you know? And so not only is it not helping you solve your problem, right? But it's nasty for your dog to have hormone problems. That'd be jacked up, right? Another thing that it says is that it can really cause eye damage if it gets in your eyes. Of course, lots of products out there, but let's just not take it lightly anymore. That you inhale this stuff, you're going to be impacted. You touch it, you can be impacted. You breathe it, you can be impacted. Don't think that because it's in, you know, they put it on the grass and you waited 24 hours that you're not susceptible to exposure, right?
Right.
I mean, we've gotten to the point where people are like, you know, clear enough about, hey, we don't let smoking in buildings anymore because you can get secondhand smoke, right? Well, why don't we get to that freaking point when it comes to damn herbicides that have been proven to be carcinogenic? You know, like I don't want secondhand exposure from, you know, and I would just like to use the name Mr. Johnson. No offense to any
Johnson's
Mr. Johnsons
like,
out there.
what did I do? I'm doing the best I can.
He's like, I listen to all your podcasts, man. I don't use that stuff anymore. I don't want secondhand exposure from being out on the lawn and you put down an herbicide because I can feel it in my skin. Dude, earlier this year, everyone was using all kinds of crap, and I know they're lying because you got yellowing of the grass and all this other stuff, but also my skin burns. And why should I have to wear protective gear when I'm using natural products on your lawn? Right? Because I know if I'm the guy I know to read the instructions and I know to follow the rules. Do I? Not always, okay? But that's part of the reason I don't want to use them either. I don't want to have to like have a hazmat suit while I'm working. That's ridiculous. On a lawn where your kids are going to play, your dog, we have little birds and bees that people care about. But I'm supposed to wear a hazmat suit if I put this shit down? Who's doing that?
I don't think anyone is. I mean, maybe someone is, but the average person isn't.
Right. And so not only is it not helping you solve your problem, But we are, like, we're hurting ourselves. It's a very prominent thing for people to have hormone disruption, arthritis, inflammation issues, right? All kinds of stuff. Gut bacteria issues. A lot of herbicides directly affect your gut. But people don't know this, right? They're like, oh, I'm sick. I don't feel good. And the saddest thing is most people want to change, like, after they've been diagnosed with something.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, let me tell you, to just be really real, I haven't had anyone in my family die because they touched a weed. Okay? I haven't had anybody in my family die even because of a bug. Right? People freak out about bugs too. We gotta fucking spray everything. No, you know what they've died from? Cancer. Right? Or sadly enough, drug overdoses. But not weeds and not bugs. And not even weed. For being real. I wasn't one of them, okay? And I bring this up because it is such a prominent thing. I see all these lawns and every freaking time, so many different companies. Yeah, AJ, I'll show you what they put on my lawn last. And it's usually some sort of pre-emergent. And I asked the customer, well, did you ask them to kill the weeds? Like, yeah, I did. So halfway, these people are trying to do their job. So I'm not trying to like throw a stone necessarily at all these applicator guys out there. They're doing what they're trained to do, doing what they're told, and they're trying to make a customer happy. Okay? But they don't have the knowledge and the experience or maybe the gonads to tell the customer, this isn't going to help you. You know, you ever been in a situation with maybe work or otherwise?
Oh yeah, all the time. And you can try and tell someone, but if they don't, want to hear it, sometimes they, But yeah, I've been in that situation before.
All right, hey, I want to make a video like this or do an ad like that. And you're like, that's not really going to work.
Right. But, and even as Clear Life, we can give our, the expert opinion. This is what we've seen. This is what works. Who's your target audience? This will work because we've done it before. But if they want to do something else and go another way, at the end of the day, we always try and make them happy. Like, even if it doesn't make us happy, mm-hmm. and we're trying to tell you, but then usually they'll learn and be like, wow, that didn't have the result that I wanted. And well, this is why. If you go back and do it this way, or we can make those changes and edits, and it seems so cool in my head. Can we fix it? Yes, yeah, we can fix it. But no, that happens.
Yeah, so I've run across that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always a training deal of, well, let's, again, not fight the lawn. Let's not fight Mother Nature. Just like if you want a healthy relationship, you shouldn't fight your freaking spouse, or a healthy relationship in any dynamic, right? Work, what have you, like wherever your partner is or that thing, you got to like try and what's going to help this person help me the most instead of I'm going to fight it.
Right.
And year after year after year, even through all the doubt and even the mass marketing that gets in my head, I see it time and time and time again. And I'm like, AJ, why the hell do you doubt yourself, dude? You fix more lawns than freaking the garden show people or, any of those damn commercials out there that make you think, oh, I'm going to have a beautiful weed-free lawn. Like, dude, that is in a studio that has a production budget thousands of times greater than this one, Yeah. I'm sure if I gave y'all the money and said, hey, I need this to look like this in this video, you'd be like,
we could do it.
Done.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. And we will, but I'm going to show you real results. And I promise you every picture I ever post or anything on my social media, on my YouTube, the only edits that are ever made is maybe like the sizing edit. Right? Or throwing in like my logo or something. Yeah. But when it comes to like changing the color or stuff like that with like the grass itself, never. No, I don't edit those. You get raw footage. This is what it is. Raw before and after. from my phone.
Yeah, you see there's like fitness influencers and people in the health industry and working out, and they get busted for those kind of things. Or you see before and after, I'm like, well, that looks like shadows, and I can kind of see they look better, they shaved and whatever, you know, and then but it's, I mean, people do that, so the fact that, you know, you don't, or that's just, it's kind of wrong.
Like
in
our area, and I know a few guys like in other areas, there's Bold Gold aeration up in Odessa. He messes with a lot of Bermuda, and he's been doing lawn leveling and top dressing and stuff. I know he doesn't edit his photos because I know the work. I would know what I'm looking at, right? Emerald Traditions down here, I know they're not editing their stuff because we work in the same areas on the same lawns, right? It's real St. Augustine grass on their real lawns. I know that, but say these other companies, which I don't have to name, but basically if it's not those two guys, you know, or like B&B Turf Pros over in Sienna Plantation area, they don't edit their stuff either.
Oh, I thought you were about to drop a name of like, yeah, they are, but
no. But again, like all the other guys around here, even the ones that are seemingly more local, but they're franchised companies, right? You go look at their ads, half the time that grass isn't even a freaking grass that grows in our area, which drives me nuts. Like, that is not St. Augustine that's in that video or that picture. I'm like, oh, that looks so beautiful and soft. Yeah, that's great. You want to pay for a golf course? We can do that. Or I know people who can. I can hook you up, okay? But that's not what we're working with here. And I guarantee you most of those commercials, those ads, those things that you see are not southern Gulf Coast areas with warm season grasses. Around here, we predominantly have St. Augustine and predominantly our lovely gumbo clay soil. Don't think clay's your enemy. It's not. But I just see these stuff, and not only are you not working with Mother Nature, you're doing something that can effectively harm yourself. And it's just like, say, cigarettes or alcohol or, you know, even drugs to some aspect. You know, a little bit didn't hurt you. But a little bit over time, consistently, can have a very negative impact, right? Not only on our lawn and soils, luckily bacteria fixes things very fast, relatively. But if it impacts you or me or your kids or your wife, that may not change back so fast, or it may not change back at all. What the hell is that worth? You know? Or my dog. Like right now, my dog is kind of like my main family, man. Something happens to my dog because of a damn weed killer, I'll say, part of me wants to say, screw it, dude. Let's spray diesel on everything. You know, luckily he's healthy. He's good. But not only is it not fixing the problem, people, a pre-emergent is an herbicide, but it could potentially harm you. Okay? And you are infinitely more important than your lawn, right? So let's do something that's healthier for your home, your family, your household, our environment, the community. But let's also do something that's actually going to work. Let's work with Mother Nature. That's why Hippie Fertilizing got started, to do things that align with supporting soil biology, not conventional crap. There's my piece, okay? So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Gardy, for listening, man. He's like my podcast therapist. And y'all have a super groovy day. Check out hippiefertilizing.com. We do have our own fertilizer, and we can recommend a more safe way to kill weeds. Have a super groovy day. Peace.